Y'all ready to suck some goats? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with the next Helluva Boss short, Mission Chupacabras. And this is an interesting title for me because I grew up very interested in the myth of the Chupacabra, in the entire lore and interest of that. I did multiple reports on it in school, and it just very much was the what do you call it? Oh my god, there's a word for it. Cryptid. It is very much the cryptid that interested me the most. I don't know why, it just was. um and chupacabras are usually shown to have various different designs. Like there's like a design that's kind of like this little humanoid guy with spines going down the back, fangs and claws. Then there's designs that are more animal-like and whatnot, and it's a very diverse, interesting cryptid. Now, I do also have to say though, before we get into this, that I am still also worried because I might be in the minority here, and I don't know if I am, but I have not been the biggest fan of these shorts. And you guys know this, I haven't kept this a secret or anything, but I think it comes down to what you look for in Helluva Boss and Has Been Hotel and these kind of shows in general. I not only like that the show took a more story-based direction, but I prefer it. I think that the comedy of these shows is great, and it should remain a part of the series, of both series. But it should just remain a part. It should never be the focus. Because I don't think comedy as a focus in any kind of show or movie or anything works. I don't think comedy works when it is the focal point. Because comedy is in my opinion meant to kind of, how do I put this? To enhance a story and characters. It is an enhancement tool. It is not the replacement for story and characters. Comedy on its own gets bland after a while. It gets boring and it saps away, in my opinion, again, the interest of what I want to see in this kind of stuff. And this is probably why I've never gotten huge into like comedy specials and comedians and everything, with the exception of a few here and there. Because it's just joke after joke after joke. And for some people that's good and that's what they want. But it's like I'd rather hear more like stories than jokes. I'd rather hear comedians like talk more about their lives. Again, I might be in the minority there. I admit that. But that's just what I am interested in. And when it comes to, again, a show or a movie, if comedy is your focal point, you get shit like The Sitter. But when story is your focal point, you'll get Mrs. Doubtfire. And that's, in my opinion, and honestly a lot of people's opinions from what I've seen, one of the best comedy movies. And most of Robin Williams' movies focused on character and story, on the heart and the depth, while adding in that comedy as an addition rather than the focal point. And that's what made them work so well. But you have a lot of comedy movies out there that focus so hard on the comedy that it doesn't have any story, it doesn't have any character, it doesn't have any heart, it doesn't have anything to bind it all together. And so, even with animated stuff, whenever I see something that is, a comedy series, I want the comedy to be an enhancer. And that's what it's become with Helluva Boss and Has Been Hotel. They have great stories with fantastic characters, and the comedy enhances them. It's not the focal point. And the point I'm making with all of this is that there's some people who just want this series to be comedy, who want the series to be, jokey and goofy and, focus on lighthearted stuff rather than the heavy, emotional, story based content we've been getting. And I can't understand that. Everybody's entitled to their interests, their opinions, their tastes. That's fine. But I personally don't understand it. Because the story, the depth, the heartbreak, this is the stuff that makes us invested in these stories and characters. This is the stuff that makes us care about what we're watching. The comedy is just there to buffer that, to help that. So I don't get it. Why someone would want the comedy to be front and center. An animated series that's just all comedy, it's like you're not going to be able to care. Again, maybe it's just me, but that's my view on it. And these shorts have been so focused on the comedy for the most part, outside of the first one. The first short was phenomenal. Like, I mean, better than a lot of episodes of the actual show. Phenomenal. But every short since, for me, again, personally, has been extremely weak. Because it focuses on the comedy and nothing else. Especially the last one, Mission Weeaboo. It was so focused on the cringe comedy, there was nothing to enjoy about it. It was just pure cringe the entire time, and there was nothing fun, nothing entertaining, nothing that hooked me in. Mission Antarctica was very much the same. It was all about the comedy of, the unexpected enemy there with the penguin, and then the penguin saying slurs, and nothing about it hooked me in. I didn't care. I didn't care about what was going on, and I've rewatched it many times. I've rewatched all of them many times. And yeah, I couldn't care less. I genuinely can't stand it. Because there's nothing for me to enjoy in it. And again, all different viewpoints. It's all subjective. It's all on a person by person basis. I'm just sharing my viewpoint. So just keep that in mind. But I'm hoping to God this one actually has story to it. I'm hoping to God that this one actually has, some level of depth. And I know I'm asking for a lot here. The fact that it's also, like, the title also is Mission something, kind of implies to me that it's going to be very much just like Mission Antarctica or Mission Weeaboo. It implies to me that it's just going to be more of the same dumb bullshit that isn't going to have any depth or interest or care or anything. And that worries me because, again, like I said, I really like the myth of the Chupacabra. So, if this is just like poorly done in that regard too, like just not even having fun with the idea of the Chupacabra, it's like it's gonna suck. And I'm really, really worried. I'm really hoping, of course, that this is going to be like amazing. I always hope and I always like desire these to be good, just as I do with anything. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to to hold out hope there when every time you're being proven wrong. On the plus side, the next 3 months, October, November, December, we're getting actual episodes. So I have that to look forward to. There is that at least. But yeah, these shorts, it gives us more content, but outside of the first one with Sally Mae and Millie, it hasn't really given us anything worthwhile in my opinion. So I'm really hoping this one proves me wrong. We're gonna see. Sorry for talking so long for what's gonna be like only a couple minutes reaction. But I wanted to get these thoughts out here and let you fully know where I stand. Again, I understand my opinion's not going to necessarily be a popular one, but it is my opinion. It's just what I genuinely believe as I watch. So, sorry for any disappointments, but I'm going to be honest with what I think. Either way, let's get into this and hope for the best. Cutting in here real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions, with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. We also have gaming content every day of the week over on the Princess of Gaming channel. We have Horizon Forbidden West every other day, Baldur's Gate 3 every day. Every Wednesday and Sunday, we have Beyond Two Souls, and we have Poppy Playtime on Saturdays. Don't forget to click the link in the description below to get to today's video. I redirect everything due to copyright. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video for more awesome content like this in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get to today's reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I looked it up on here, and yeah, Jorge R. Gutierrez is a Mexican-American animator, writer, producer, director, painter, and voice actor. And he created the series El Tigre, The Adventures of Manny Rivera. And he also co-wrote and directed The Book of Life, which I believe we reacted to on the channel. He also does voices in the various things, like he was Carmelo in The Book of Life. He was various voices in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is really fun. But he was also Gordo in El Tigre. So it's like, I definitely understand why I would recognize his voice now, because I have heard him in The Book of Life and El Tigre. And yes, I've seen El Tigre, for anyone who is wondering about that, because I don't think I've ever talked about that before. I don't know if I saw all of it, but I watched it like here and there. Kind of the same with like Mucha Lucha. It's one of those shows that I just kind of watched every now and again when it was on, but I never like actively like was a huge fan of or anything. There's a lot of those shows from the old days. But yeah. Anyway, let's talk about this episode. So this, I would say, is the best of the mission episodes, because it's not the best, or shorts, the best of the mission shorts, because obviously it's not as good as the Sally Mae one. I mean, it's not. None of these shorts since the first have been really near the quality of it. And this one is included in that. But this is absolutely the best of the mission shorts. And I would say by a large mile. Like, let's say, okay, let's put it this way. So obviously the Sally Mae one, I can't remember what it's called, by the way. I keep just calling it the Sally Mae one. That one is a 10, right? Let's say that's a 10 out of 10, which is fair, I feel. Mission Antarctica, I think, is the worst one so far, and let's say that's a 2 out of 10. Mission Weeaboo then would probably be like a 4, because there is a little bit of humor in there I can enjoy. Plus there's a Charlie reference, and that's fun. So if those two are a 2 and 4, the Sally Mae one is a 10, this one would be a 7. It's really good. Not amazing, but really good. It's quality. Um, this does still rely a lot on the humor. It is still like relying a lot on that, but it does introduce some plot elements with the return of the dorks in here and their integration into the humor and everything. It felt more relevant than either of the past two. It felt kind of like a combination between relevancy and the comedy. But it was like a 60-40 comparison there. 60% was still the comedy. It was still mostly comedy focused. But that 40% is brought in with the dorks and having some relevance with them still hunting the demons and following any leads they can and whatnot. Plus, if I'm being honest here, the humor was just better in this than either of the last two shorts. Like, significantly better. Maybe it's also because I just enjoy goats. That could just be a part of it. But that end bit with like the goat being made part like an honorary ally to Imp, and then like starting a cult like Cult of the Lamb style. Like seriously, that reminded me directly of Cult of the Lamb. Let me see if I can bring it up here real quick. I'm obviously gonna have it muted, just so no copyright music or anything is heard in this. But yeah, they're like in this shed and everything. There's the candles and all. All the goats are like bowing down before the main goat whose horns look bigger. It's probably like fake horns, like some kind of crown, basically. And the main goat is at the altar and everything. And it's like this is very reminiscent of the Cult of the Lamb. If you've never played Cult of the Lamb, it's a roguelike game that is really fun. It combines base building with roguelike action and everything. And part of it is you get to hold these sermons in your tent every morning. And it very much is reminiscent of the sermons. And the thing is, Cult of the Lamb just introduced a second character, a second main playable character, a goat, who's like playable with like two player. Um, and the goat is like being memed and everything because the goat will just stand there and scream at times and everything. And it's really fun, and I'm wondering if there was at least a tiny bit of inspiration taken from Cult of the Lamb for this short. I could believe it. I mean, they take inspiration from various places. I mean, look at the last short. So much inspiration from various weeby sources, obviously. But yeah, there's absolutely inspirations taken. So I'm wondering if Cult of the Lamb, at least to some small degree, inspired this episode or this short. I keep saying episode. I'm just so used to that. Um, but yeah, it's like I enjoyed that because I enjoy Cult of the Lamb, and I just think it's just fun that the goat, after having been made an honorary member of Imp and causing all that chaos, suddenly just starts a satanic cult. It's just really funny. That's actually funny. One of these shorts are actually funny. It's just I feel like more effort was put into this one. It feels like they were actually like trying on both the comedy and the story aspect. Like the plot is still pretty thin, all things considered. I mean, all it is oh, another mission. We have to go kill this Jorge Gutierrez guy. Or no, that's the actor. We have to kill this guy in Mexico. They arrive in the midst of all these goats. Millie and Moxie get away, but Blitz ends up captured and put on display as a fake Chupacabra. And it's like, it's such a thin, simple plot. But then you also add in the dorks, You also add in the goat rebellion, the farmer accidentally being killed. It's like there's so many layers that they add in that they didn't need to do, and that the other shorts didn't do. And I appreciate that. Also, the chaos that was happening um, with Imp fighting and killing the goats and everything was wild. Why did Millie have the goat in her mouth? Like what would like you're really living up to Chupacabra there, which for those who may not know means goat sucker. It's like she literally was sucking on that goat. Like what? And then one of the goats was thrown, and I didn't do the why did it explode bit because I wasn't quite sure if it actually exploded. Hold on, let me see if I can go back to that real quick. That was before Blitz is captured. It's like I think at least one of the goats was like thrown at a silo or something, or maybe that was like when everything was going down at the end. Yeah, I think it was at the end. Hold on, let me try to find that again, because one of the throats was like thrown at a silo or something, and then it's like it didn't really explode, but it was similar. I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying to find it again though, and it's like, yeah, I don't know what part it was at. Oh, hold on, I think I might. Yeah, here it is. It was at the beginning. So yeah, Blitz kicked the goat, and it blasted into the silo, like broke through the side, and there's like this kind of like explosion, but it's not really focused on. It's like very minor. It like hits the side, and there's like this small explosion, and I guess maybe because it was like so sudden and not really like grand in scale and all, I didn't think to make the why did it explode joke. For those who don't know, that's a joke I've made many times on the channel when something just inexplicably explodes for no apparent reason when it shouldn't explode. um, yeah, I just didn't think to make the joke there with that because it's like I wasn't entirely sure if it even exploded or if that was like just like it hitting the side of it or like grain like coming out as it like blasted through. I wasn't quite sure, so I didn't make the joke. Oh well. Sorry if that's disappointing to any of you longtime watchers. um, but the craziness at the end, like, let me go back to that real quick. It's like it all starts with the dorks and the farmer, like, pointing the guns at each other, like crazy idiots. The gun like overheats in his hand and then shoots a ricocheted bullet that ends up like causing the windmill blade to fall on him and kill him, which is fucking wild. Like I kind of like those like accidental deaths. That's just like because of stupidity and stuff like ricocheting and whatnot. But then it's like after that, like the goats start causing chaos. Blitz is helped out by the one goat, and then it just like escalates really quickly. One of the male dork is shot. The other goats are like biting at the female dork's hair and everything. It's absolute fucking chaos, and it's like I kind of dig that. Um, but yeah, like I said, better than the other two mission shorts by a huge mile, but still not as good as the first short. And honestly, at this point, I'm kind of questioning if anything will be able to top that in terms of shorts. But we don't have to worry about that for a while because, like I said, we are going into episodes for the next 3 months. And I think it's the final 3 episodes of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, I might be wrong on that. I don't know for sure. But I'm very excited to see some more actual episodes. I'm very excited to see like some more of the good in-depth content that I look for with this series. And hopefully, like, after where we left off last time, it really starts to, like, go into overdrive with its quality and everything. It's been really good already with the past few actual episodes, but you know what I mean. Like, really going into overdrive would be appreciated. Especially after most of these shorts, well, half of these shorts have been weak. I mean, there's only been 4 shorts, and only 2 of them were weak, so. I guess there's a 50-50 quality level with these shorts overall. But tell me in the comments below, what did you think of Mission Chupacabras? Let me know down below. Also, it's still wild to me that I knew who the creator of El Tigre was by his voice. Well, I knew who he. I recognized the voice. I knew he was the creator of El Tigre by his name. To be fair, but it's still wild. I recognized him. Um, but yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.